Today, we are talking about
The loss of a true legend, Chris Cornell.
Today, we are sadly talking about Chris Cornell.
Yes.
We lost a legend, and today we're going to talk about the effects that he had in music and how his memory will live on. In his time in the music world, he was a part of Soundgarden from 1984 to 97, and then they're also active 2010, 2017.
Yeah. And man, Soundgarden was big. They were the first grunge band to be signed to a label.
Yeah.
Which that opened the door for Nirvana,
Right.
Smashing Pumpkins, Alice in Chains,
Mm-hmm.
all those bands. They have to thank Soundgarden for that.
Yeah.
Grunge possibly would not have. It probably would have existed, but it probably would not have been as big as it would have been without Soundgarden and them getting signed to a major deal.
Right. He was also a member of Audioslave.
Which that was just like Rage Against the Machine minus Zach De La Roach and put Chris Cornell as the lead singer.
And they were active from 2001 to 2007. And he was also the founder of Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, one of the founders.
Yeah.
And with some of the guys that became Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band was it was a one CD deal, and it was to remember Andrew Wood,
Right.
who was the singer of Mother Love Bone,
Yeah.
which was a big grunge band in the Seattle area.
He wanted to memorialize his friend. That's why he formed Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, and we got the whole album's good, but personally, my two favorite songs on there are "Hunger Strike" and "Say Hello to Heaven," which especially now, "Say Hello to Heaven" it kind of takes on a different meaning.
Right.
Because I've been having Sirius XM on today, and they just played that song just all day, and it's just sad.
He was born on July 20th, 1964. And he unfortunately died May 17th, 2017.
Much too soon.
Much too soon.
Much too soon. He's only 52.
Yeah. He was a songwriter and vocalist and played the rhythm guitar for Soundgarden. That was his role in Soundgarden.
Yeah.
And he was also lead vocalist and a songwriter for Audioslave.
Which they had their first album. They had a couple good hits on there, but Like a Stone is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And Show Me How to Live. That's another good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. He was also the founder and a front man for Temple of the Dog.
Yeah.
As Nick mentioned earlier, Cornell was known for his role in one of the architects of the '90s grunge movement.
You know what I realized?
What is that?
3 of the 4 leaders of the bands are dead.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell,
Kurt Cobain.
and Lane Staley. Eddie Vedder is the only one that's still alive.
Right.
It's hard to believe, and we lost all 3 of them due to killing themselves in a sense. Chris Cornell, as we found out today, it's been pretty much confirmed that he hung himself. Kurt Cobain, of course, he shot himself, and then Lane Staley overdosed.
It's sad, these rock stars. You think that they have it all together, and then they prove that they don't.
Yeah, and this one probably affected me the most out of all of them that died. I mean, I like Nirvana and I like Alice in Chains, but I was really big into Soundgarden. Well, still am big into Soundgarden. And man, Bad Motorfinger and Super Unknown were just such great albums. Because on Bad Motor Finger, you had Rusty Cage, you had Jesus Christ Pose, and you had Outshined. Outshined is probably one of my favorite Soundgarden songs, and it's become a staple of all their like live shows. And then on Super Unknown, that's one that like made them known to everybody. Came out in '94, and it had Black Hole Sun, which everybody knows Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
I mean, you just hear the intro, people are like, Black Hole Sun. Yeah. One of my personal favorites, Fell on Black Days, and today has really been a black day. They also had Spoon Man. Another good song on Super Unknown is The Day I Tried to Live, which it's a little bit different than some of the other ones, but it's still a really good song.
Yeah.
And then they did Down on the Upside, which came out in '96, and that was their last album before they went on hiatus. And they had there's really two like big songs on there for me. There was Burden in My Hand and Blow Up the Outside World. So, like, growing up, I listened to a lot of Soundgarden. I listened to a lot of like '90s when I reached my teens,
Right.
like Metallica and Pantera and all that kind of stuff. And I was really big into Pearl Jam. And I didn't know too much about Soundgarden. And then like somebody turned me on to Soundgarden, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, because they're kind of a dark band. If you don't know, like they're not like death metal, but I mean, you know, they're doom and gloom a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. It's just ever since I like heard their music, I just really like their style because they don't play conventional style.
Yeah.
They play. They use a lot of chords that normally you wouldn't put together, and they use all different kinds of time signatures. Like I think it's in Black Hole Sun. They do 9/8 time signature. And it's just crazy. They use crazy stuff, and that's what I liked about them. They were different. They weren't just like your normal bands writing about angst and just like all that kind of stuff. They actually had a meaning to a lot of their songs.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have in a band. You also don't see that a whole lot.
Not anymore.
No.
So we lost a true legend.
We really did.
And I heard that Soundgarden was recording some new music, and it's supposed to come out this year or next year. So I'm hoping
maybe he finished before he died.
Are they finished enough?
Right.
That they can release like an album?
I'm sure they will. I mean, if they don't have the full album released, like done in the studio, I'm sure they might release what have already been completed.
Yeah.
Just
like,
as a
even if it's like 5 songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we lost a true legend.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that as I've heard is described as a voice of a generation.
Right. Yeah. A 4 vocal range.
Yeah, 4 octave.
That's pretty impressive.
Which I mean, I don't know much about singing, but that just sounds.
Yeah,
that just sounds good.
It seems impressive to me. In his lifetime, he released 4 solo albums.
Yep, and the latest one that he released in 15 or 16, it had a song, "Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart," and I really like that song. I mean, I used to listen to that all the time, just on repeat.
Yeah.
And it's very acoustic, and I recommend if you don't know too much about like Soundgarden, go listen to some Soundgarden and to some Chris Cornell solo.
I mean, Chris Cornell's singing voice, I feel like he could sing anything.
I do too.
And I think in his lifetime, he pretty much did.
Yeah. He even though he was like a big rock star, he also liked to sing a lot of like bluesier stuff.
Yeah.
And like jazzy stuff.
He also did a collaboration with Zach Brown Band.
That's true. Yeah, Heavy as the Head.
Yeah. So.
Which I never saw that coming in my life.
Yeah. He also received a Golden Globe nomination for his song "The Keeper." He also co-wrote and performed the theme song for Casino Royale. You Know My Name.
He also had a song on the Avengers soundtrack.
Right.
It's called "Live to Rise," and it played. I believe it played at the ending credits, like of the movie, and really great song. Around the same time the Avengers come out, they, like I said, they broke up after Down on the Upside. And they got back together in 2010, 2011-ish.
Yeah.
And in 2012 they released this album called King Animal. And it was alright. I mean, honestly, a lot of it kind of wasn't my style.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the song Been Away Too Long. And that put my faith back into like Soundgarden. After being gone for so long, 13, 14 years, they like were away. And Matt Cameron, the drummer for Soundgarden, went to like Pearl Jam, and Ben Shepherd, the bassist, did his own thing, and Kim Thale did his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was kind of interesting to see how all of them like went out, and then they came back together and still were able to like make the same kind of music, I guess.
Yeah, that's very impressive to see.
Especially when you're a lot older.
Yeah, yeah. He was voted rock's greatest singer by readers of the Guitar World.
I can see that. I think he has one of the purest like rock.
He has
voices.
a very great singing voice. He really does.
I think him and Scott Weiland probably had some of the best singing voices, rock singing voices out there. And talking about Scott Weiland for a second, like I remember when Scott Weiland died.
Mm-hmm.
It was December 4, 2015. That's when I heard about it.
Right.
And I don't remember too many dates in my life.
Right.
But I remember when Scott Weiland died. I remember when Prince died.
Right.
And now, sadly, I'll remember when Chris Cornell died.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them because they all had like impact on my life.
Yeah.
In some way or fashion. And
I believe they've all individually made impacts on the music world itself.
they have.
Yeah.
That's a good tie-in. But yeah, like, cause like Stone Temple Pilots, they were like kind of like the outcast band. Like for all the people that are like outcast during the time, they mostly went to Stone Temple Pilots. There was Soundgarden, that was kind of your moody band.
Right.
A little bit, and then Prince. I mean, Prince.
He's Prince.
Yeah, pretty much. That's three people that have died in the last couple of years.
Right.
That, I mean, it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing so many greats.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we lost Bowie.
Right.
We lost Weiland, Prince.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell.
Right.
It's getting crazy.
All the good music is gone.
Just about. They need to put Eddie Vedder up in a room with like, you know, bubble wrap him.
Yeah, I get him like 50 bodyguards.
Yeah. That dude don't need to like be walking. They just need to carry him everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we can't lose Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, you can't.
That would be the apocalypse.
But he was also ranked 4th in the list of heavy metal's all top 100 vocalists by Hit Parader.
I can see that. Like again, I think he had one of the most purest voices that like any rock musician.
Definitely.
Especially being able to do like 4 octaves.
Yeah. He was also ranked 9th in the list of best lead singer of all time by Rolling Stone magazine.
I can see that.
Definitely.
I think he should be a little higher, but I can see some contenders at least.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there's Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Yeah. He was also ranked 12th in MTV's Greatest Voices in Music. But all in all, I mean, he accomplished so much for the music world, so much for grunge and even beyond grunge.
Yeah, and I've also heard that Chris Cornell is like one of the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah.
Like, not just from like musicians or fans, but like people who didn't even know who he was. Like really, like they thought he was a cool guy. And like I heard stories all day today because they had like people call in on like Sirius like to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, man, like I met Chris Cornell at like a restaurant one time. And it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, hey man, can I have a picture? And and all that. And he invited him to sit and eat with him. And like, I mean, just really cool stuff like that. Because most people, 2 a.m, they're going to be like, go away.
Right.
I'm trying to eat, But he was just like, hey man, have a seat, let's talk.
Yeah.
I think he was like a really cool guy. And I hate to see that, he got to some point that he had to take his own life.
You know, this reminds me of when Robin Williams passed away, because Robin Williams is a legend in the comedy world, and everyone assumes that because he always has a sense of humor that he's not going through anything. And when he took his own life, it was a tragedy that no one saw coming. Same with Chris Cornell. I mean, he's accomplished all this stuff, but yet he felt somewhere deep down that he wanted to take his own life, and it's a tragedy.
Yeah,
It really is.
I know that Chris Cornell has struggled in the past with like depression and alcoholism and stuff like that. And I heard they're doing a toxicology report with his autopsy to see if like he was on drugs or something like that. But
yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see on that. But that's the thing about depression. I mean, you can never really tell if somebody's going through something, because they can walk around with a smile on their face and they could be like, wanting to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So depression is a funny thing.
Yeah, it's definitely no joke at all.
I mean, it's hard to really figure out. But I just hate, and I hope that like Chris Cornell, like whatever made him do this, that he finally gets to break out of that rusty cage and is able to like live on, and hopefully in peace, and with no more pain or whatever made him do this. But it's true devastation. Like when I woke up this morning and I had this alert, I had this thing on my phone where it sends me like rock and like metal news and all that kind of stuff on my phone, and it came across and all I saw was Chris Cornell dies at 52. I didn't want to believe it.
He may have passed away, but his music will live on.
Oh, most definitely. Just like Nirvana and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because he's a legend. He's done so much in truly so little time.
Right.
Because look, he was in Soundgarden. Audio Slave, Temple of the Dog.
Yeah.
I mean, Temple of the Dog went on like their first like tour since like '92, and I mean, it was sold out everywhere they went. I mean, so people still want to see that. And there must be still somewhat of an audience if Soundgarden is going to go make a new album. After was it 5-6 years? So I mean, that just shows, and they're still like going on tour. That just shows that they really love the music. That it's not about money or fame or attention. They really care about their music.
Definitely.
And I mean, that's just being real. I mean, that's just being a true musician, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. So, definitely a true legend has left us.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see.
I thought this would be a long way away.
Yeah.
But, sometimes reality's got to hit you to show you that's still reality. But, yeah. Today was a somber day.
It was.
Just like when Prince died, we found out like when doves cry, and today we found out what it felt like to have a dark day.
But as we always say in our other videos, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos.
And write down any suggestions that you'd like for us to talk about next down in the comment box. Thanks.
We'll see you later.